That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 139 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to celebrate the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam and I, for one, am feeling refreshed, revitalised and reinvigorated after our little podcast holiday. Sam, are you feeling the same?
Yeah, what are we doing again? It's a podcast, right?
Yeah, we sort of talk and people find it hugely entertaining.
We get wrestling facts wrong.
John, are you feeling good after a couple of weeks off?
Yeah, I do feel relatively okay, I guess. I don't think I've ever felt refreshed in my entire life. So
relatively okay. That's
Yeah.
what we're aiming for here. That's the bar.
I'd like to think like the day you were born, you had a little nap and then you woke up from that and you felt refreshed. Surely.
no, I reckon that day you're terrified, right? Everything's new and crazy. You can't see anything. You don't know what food is. You don't know what
Day
that
after your
stuff is
wedding.
coming out of you.
Day after your
Hungover,
wedding.
really hungover.
Tired and emotional. I remember being. Brett, how are you feeling after your short break?
Well, yeah, I would say I'm feeling refreshed, but I sort of hit the pandemic slump during the break. You know, when suddenly
You
like
got COVID?
it was all no, it was just like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm really like fed up of this now.
It is just constant bad news, isn't it?
Yeah, and all the news and everything. So like world-wise, it was like really took its toll.
There's
But
been no
refreshed.
highlights of the COVID pandemic yet.
No, early Jan was definitely rough.
It was. It's tough. But hopefully, you know, some people have tuned in to this for a bit of escapism. Maybe they've been in a bit of a slump and they thought, you know what, I need four
Some
guys talking about
nonsense chat.
wrestling. I can't find four guys talking about wrestling anywhere on the internet. I need Hardest Part of the Ring to come back. I say come back. I mean, for the listeners, we've only been away for a couple of weeks, but of course, you know, that last episode was Sam and Brett's favourite matches of 2020. But we actually recorded that and the episode the week before, which was John and my favourite matches. We recorded that right at the start of January when we did our little future of the podcast episode. Looked at the stats earlier. Even though our episode, John, has been out a week longer, Sam and Brett have one more listen, one more download.
Outrageous.
One
Listeners
more.
have let us down there.
Yeah. I think it's sympathy listening. So, Sam and Brett's favourite matches of 2020, if you want to go and listen back to that. But I'd encourage you to listen to the episode before this podcast. You know, some of you might have been expecting a full-on Royal Rumble review, but if you're expecting that, go and listen to the first episode of the year. We are going to chat about the Rumble in a minute, but it's going to be a top 5 episode, and we thought we'd focus on the top 5 things that we'd like to see in wrestling in 2021. Quick, catchy title, easy to remember, but basically just thinking about, you know, it was a tough year last year. How would we like things to pan out a bit differently this year? But before we do that, the Royal Rumble happened. Is this off? I mean, this is probably my favourite pay-per-view.
This is definitely my favourite pay-per-view of the year.
Okay. Brett, you feel the same or have you got another one?
No, well,
WWE.
I'm probably always most excited by the Rumble,
Okay.
but then it's never lives up to my excitement.
I think last year's Rumble lived up to the excitement.
Last year's was good when you had like Brock dominating and then Drew just coming in and Claymore in his face.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Because Adam was getting
John-
irate during that Rumble.
Yeah, it was, wasn't I? But I look back now and it was so good. It had a lot of structure, a lot of narrative. I'd ask you, John, what your favourite pay-per-view is, but it's basically the one you've watched most recently. Yeah?
Do you know what? I always think I like a Rumble, but then I watch a Rumble match. I'm like, part of the interest is it's quite boring.
Oh,
no.
John.
I
Makes
still
me feeling
love it.
refreshed. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, Sam, you're sounding like you might be quite positive. What was your favourite part of the Royal Rumble or favourite match?
Actually, it wasn't that good this year. The Women's Royal Rumble I thought was really good. Really
Yeah.
good.
Agreed.
Really
Yeah.
enjoyed all of it.
It was more entertaining, I found, the Women's Rumble.
Yeah. I just thought it had loads going on. There were no points during the women's one where I sort of zoned out. that everybody that came in did something cool. There were lots of little storylines happening, lots of sort of fun wrestlers to see.
Yeah, I think like Billie Kay definitely boosted
she was so good, wasn't
the Rumble, because she was great, like while being outside and bothering all the people at the beginning, and then when she was in there teaming up.
The thing
stuff,
is
that was a lot of fun. I was gutted when she got.
She brings something to wrestling which kind of WWE don't do enough of, which is kind of she has so many different irons in the fire, where it's like at one point during the
Sounds
match,
like a boy band song. One point in the time, I loved you. Come on, guys, sing it with me.
One point in the time, I loved you. Oh man,
I'm the guy that's like looks really old and doesn't really sing. He's just there, like in the Backstreet Boys.
You're the guy that raps.
That's like well old.
I was really
gonna rap in a
looking
minute.
forward to getting that little bit edited out and just make it seem as if I knew what I was talking about. But nope.
No,
There was a point in the match when Billie Kay was in the ring with Peyton Royce, her former partner, with Gillian Hall, who she had just formed a team with. Partnership, thank you. Words escape me. I can't take time off from podcasts.
tag team, otherwise known as a tag team in wrestling.
And also the Riot Squad. And it's just like, you've got one person here with so many different kind of strings, and it's just, it's really
it makes
cool
it
to
more
see.
entertaining when lots of people have, I guess, like some history or something. So there's many different aspects you can bring to a Rumble.
I think they should give her like a talk show segment, like Miss TV.
I'll tell you what, more than anyone, I want to see her on commentary.
Ooh.
I would love that. I think she would just absolutely shine at it. I think she's a great wrestler already.
She is entertaining, and her accent just adds to it. I to be honest though, I thought she didn't obviously do as much, and I don't think she had as much time as Billie Kay, but I think Peyton Royce also has that, like, they just have character and charisma that's like entertaining to watch.
Splitting those two up was a terrible decision.
Yeah, it really was.
It's not like they're stacked with talent in the women's tag division either. Like, they need bodies in there.
What about Alicia Fox? I mean, again, you sort of think when our truth comes out, you think, oh, are they overshadowing this? But actually, I think that worked as well. I thought that was fun and funny, and I love the fact. It's a shame that she lost the championship so quickly, but I think that kind of worked. And there were just lots of fun.
It added
moments.
to her like legging it off after him as well.
Yeah.
When they all left, she was out and she like leaped over the barrier and like chased after.
I miss Alicia
Which
Fox.
was a fun exit.
Yeah, she was always really funny and talented, wasn't she?
But
I forgot she was there, to be honest.
She left, didn't she? I think she had.
Did she just leave?
I think she had some alcohol problems.
Yeah, I think I heard that somewhere as well.
So maybe it wasn't as much fun as it looked on TV when she's running around with crazy cats and stuff.
Yeah, because she was like the leader of the Survivor Series team one year. She has this crazy big hat.
Yeah.
That
was fun.
Alicia
stuff.
Fox was a lot of fun.
What about the final three as well? When it got down to Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte, just like, wow.
Before we get to that,
dream final three.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax getting back in the ring and cleaning house. I thought that was such a strong moment for both of them. I really enjoyed that. Like, kind of, I'm never going to be pro Lana. I'm always going to be on board with the bullying of Lana. I'm just a terrible person. But seeing Nia get eliminated and then seeing Nia and Shayna go back in the ring and just kind of dominate everyone.
Nia just looks shit, I thought. I can't believe they've got the push that she continues to get. I know why, because it's a bit different. But when she first got into the ring and her punches looked awful. I think she's just so limited.
I think she's gone backwards as well a bit. I remember her being
I think so.
decent in like NXT. Even when she first came onto the main roster, she was really good.
But one criticism I have is how did they not get a camera on Bayley getting eliminated?
I know, that was poor, wasn't it? That's really
I've
poor.
got a feeling that might have been Bianca Belair's fault.
Really?
Just being a bit green, maybe doing it a little bit too early for what they had planned.
I mean,
I'm not putting it all on her, but that's what I thought at the time.
It's one of those things where after last year's Rumble where they missed the spear, it's like kind of, all right, guys, just be on it with the camera.
They should have. They've got enough cameramen.
Exactly. Like, it's the director's fault, really, because the director should be cutting to that camera to basically.
It's also
say,
like
oh my
there's
God.
no live crowd there at the moment either, so they could easily line this stuff up better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was disappointing, but that was a small hiccup.
But the final three, as I said,
Cool, very cool. Final three.
so great.
Lovely.
And actually, I realised we talked about predictions yesterday in our WhatsApp groups. Sam suggested that we should do some predictions, pick who's going to win each Rumble, who might be a surprise entrant, and that kind of thing. I didn't share mine because I assumed that we were just going to talk about it on the pod. But then actually, all three of you shared yours, didn't you?
Yeah.
And now when I tell you my predictions, you're going to call bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Well, the
Oh,
only
God.
prediction I got right is that I predicted Bianca Belair to win the Women's Rumble. I promise.
There
I
you
did.
go.
But then I predicted that Ronda Rousey would be a surprise entrant. So
I thought you were going to say Ronda Rousey would win the men's. I was like, you know what? Get
Book
on
it.
board with that.
Yeah.
I was gutted with both my picks.
Who did you predict, Brett?
Alexa Bliss. I thought, she's getting some good time in
Yeah.
this whole Sister Abigail role, and she was one of their more favoured wrestlers. I thought now's her time to step up again, but no, she did not spend long in there at all.
no.
Her elimination was exactly what I love about wrestling sometimes. Where it's like, you know what? Like in a ladder match, you can just climb up a ladder and get the belt. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to kind of go through the whole rigmarole of everything. Alexa Bliss kind of, I don't know, summoning Satan and then just Rhea Ripley being like, yeah, fuck this. That's
Rhea
great.
Ripley was great, wasn't she?
She's so good.
great.
Rhea. Yeah.
John, who did you have to win it?
I had Rhea, which I was annoyed about because obviously it came down to the final two, and I predicted Edge, which I was very pleased about.
You predicted Edge to win the men's Royal Rumble.
I did.
Goodness me.
That sounds like a good way to transition. But Sam, who did you pick for the women's?
I had Bianca Belair.
It's a great moment for her, though, right? Like it was, like those emotions felt very real.
Very real.
I have to say, I was really surprised.
Yeah.
I well deserved, totally deserved, because she is great and she has been great, but I just did not expect them to do it, especially with Charlotte and Rhea there. I just thought Charlotte's getting the nod here.
They're on to a real winner with Bianca Belair because they've not done that thing in NXT where they push someone to the very, very top and then have to build them up again. Bianca Belair has never been to the top of the mountain. So it's exciting to see. And I think kind of they're backing the right horse with her because she is an absolute talent.
Yeah.
The thing is, what's weird about that is that you'd think that she would be at the top of the mountain because she has been to Everest.
So the men's Royal Rumble,
I quite
So,
like
yeah.
that because I'm not even sure if it was a joke.
Talking of emotion, when you get the win, Edge, wow, what a reaction from him. The way, I mean, his big bulging eyes, they often look like they're about to pop out of his head, but he was screaming. He was absolutely loving it. Imagine if there'd been a crowd, he may well have just combusted.
yeah, I'm not sure this was the right move from WWE, if I'm honest.
Well, when it got to the very end, when what I expected to happen the moment he left the
Honestly,
ring,
like, yeah.
I just thought, are they really going to put it on Orton again? Like, are they really going to do that? So I was pleased that Orton didn't win, but that was it.
That was a surprise. Because it was so shit to have a whole match where you're just like, yeah, he's coming back. Yeah, okay,
I mean,
Orton's coming back.
Just to point out, it's not a surprise that Orton came back. Like,
No.
WWE
No.
truly overplay that card.
Yeah, every time someone goes out back, they always come running back in near the end.
And it's a weird one, really, because I thought the whole match was just sort of average. I didn't think it had anything that good about it, apart from Edge and Christian.
I was going to say that
was
moment
nice.
made me tear up a little bit. I loved seeing Edge and Christian in the ring together.
Yeah,
Can
big
you
fan of
think of-
Christian.
Can you think of any fun moments or good little storylines?
The Hurricane. I thought the Hurricane was fun.
Spots?
I've been using the Hurricane loads recently. I liked seeing Omos kind of protecting AJ.
Yeah, that was all right, I suppose.
Yeah, none of that was particularly smooth though. Like the
No.
idea was there, but it was all a bit clunky. I mean, it wasn't even a particularly fun or great moment. I enjoyed Otis coming in and having a little moment, destroying everyone for a few minutes.
I think it was an okay Royal Rumble at best. And I think kind of, for me, Edge spent maybe an hour lying down. And then sort of won the Rumble.
You're going to have to, though, aren't you, if you come in as number one?
There
He's
weren't
47.
too many exciting entrance either.
No.
Team Hell No, that was a nice moment,
Yeah.
right?
I
I thought of you, Sam.
It was, but the Kane moment sort of wasn't that great.
There was some very ropey choke slams in that.
Yeah.
Like,
And his guts just starting to grow.
starting to, mate. It is fully there.
Damien Priest had a
Full
great
dad-
showing.
Oh, he did look really good, didn't they? They were
Yeah,
picking
he
up on
did.
comms as well.
And he's on Raw now.
Is
Oh,
he?
is
you know
he?
what? Fair play to him.
Yeah,
He's
I
probably-
didn't love him on NXT, I have to say, but he looked good in this Rumble.
I think the last
Same.
year he's been really
Yeah.
impressive.
Massively improved in NXT, and I think kind of maybe a call up now is a good shout for him. So
He's so Baron Corbin though.
he is and he isn't. He is very Baron Corbin, but he is a little bit more talented than Baron Corbin.
Well, yeah, I'd say he's a fair bit more talented than Baron Corbin, but
High praise from you, Brett.
One question I've got for you three. Do any of you know who Bad Bunny is?
not a
No.
clue.
Should we? Because when he was performing
I
and
skipped
he had
this.
Booker T standing there,
Booker T looked mean as. He looked so cool,
But-
didn't he, Booker T?
I
He
was
did.
like, this could be made up. Like this could be a film that I'm watching, and this is some made up performance. And they're like, okay, let's get that guy. We'll put on some like old, like crappy looking sunglasses. Get his hair in like weird bunches. He can have a weird date on his t-shirt. What should we call him? Bad Bunny. Like everything about him was just really weird and even the song wasn't good. And then Booker T was there. I just had no idea what was going on. And it was kind of telegraphed that he was going to come out and take part in some way in the Rumble. I mean, that was quite good. But what I found the most annoying about the whole men's Rumble and the whole event, but mostly in the men's Rumble, the amount of bad camera work and bits where wrestlers were getting in the way, or they just were missing spots, or they were, showing Randy Orton limping off when there was good stuff happening in the ring. It was just really weirdly directed and shot, and I didn't
There's
enjoy
no
it.
excuse for it. Like they pioneered this match. They know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
why has
Yeah.
it gotten so bad in recent years is beyond me.
The women's one was great.
Women's one was great.
Also, one question: that weird camera they used on the entrance,
Oh yeah, the 8K one.
like
I
some
that.
of them, it made them look like it was a video game, and I wasn't
Yeah.
seeing people.
I quite like that.
I
though.
It
really
made
like
them
that
look
camera.
really weird.
It
Big
didn't
fan.
work when people ran. It was good when they were walked slowly to the ring, but when
Yeah.
people ran in, it didn't keep up. But
One last thing on the Rumble. Well, I say on the Rumble, the event.
yeah, come on, we've got to talk Reigns Owens.
How much of a dressing down do you reckon Paul Heyman got?
Oh, that bit was so. That match was
They
so
didn't
good,
practice
and that
that, did they?
ending just killed it for me a bit.
How do you not bring bolt cutters or just say, you know what, Roman, just rip that tiny piddly
Especially
chain.
as the backup ref started to count, it got to 5 and realised Heyman's not getting Roman out of that before, and just stopped counting. Just
So
Yeah.
bad.
stopped.
And then shortly after that, Roman did actually stand up on his feet, but still had his arm under.
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, it really took away. Because I agree, and I'm sure the other two maybe disagree, John, but I agree with you. I was absolutely loving this match. I thought it was great,
Kevin Owens
especially
put
because
in-
some of the spots.
one hell of a shift. The spots he was putting himself through was insane.
Swanton.
Yeah,
I was going to say the car getting run over.
yeah. The
Where
AEW
did they get
spot.
that idea from?
That was a great bit of camera work, ironically, from WWE.
Yeah.
Did you see the screen smashing Roman in the face
Yeah.
in the replay?
Oh, no.
That looked painful. Surely we need to ask our Roman Reigns' biggest critic what he thought of this match.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, it's a good match, Brett.
I was like, I'd had to like catch up with the men's Rumble, and I was just like, and I'd watched that, and I was like, do I want to go back and watch? Oh, nah.
Okay.
It was quite
So
long.
Just move
to take the role of Brett here and be critical, you've seen one last man standing match, you've seen them all. Like,
Yeah, it's not my
just a
favourite
series of
stipulation,
spots,
last man.
isn't it? And then
Yeah.
someone gets handcuffed down because no one can look weak or gets low blowed or yeah.
But Kevin Owens is probably on the run of his life at the moment. He's doing amazing stuff.
Yeah,
was
and
great.
my dream prediction of like a Kevin Owens win and a Sami Zayn Royal Rumble win didn't happen anywhere near.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Can we quickly just mention the Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg match, which kicked off the pay-per-view? And
Surprise result.
Must we?
the whole way through that match, I was getting so angry, especially when Goldberg kicked out of that Claymore. I was like, if fucking Goldberg goes over here, I am fucking rage quitting this and I'm cancelling my subscription. That's it. I was gritted teeth. Couldn't enjoy that match at all. I was so angry the whole way through it until Drew Mac won. I was like, oh, thank God.
And his prize for defeating a near 50-year-old man is a WrestleMania match with potentially another near 50-year-old man.
Yeah, but I'm okay with him losing to Edge. That's fine. It's just Goldberg.
It'll be a much better match.
Yeah.
It'll be a much better match at least. Yeah, I was spending that whole match being really angry about the result, even though it hadn't happened, and then it went the other way.
Yeah.
So it's like, fucking Goldberg, and then they're just going to do a Saudi show with Goldberg and the belt, and then he'll come and lose it. He'll come and lose it in a couple of months. Oh, I hate this company, and then it didn't even happen.
That's exactly it.
Cool. I mean, there were only there's only one other match, of course, which was the women's championship match, right?
Yeah.
I mean, any thoughts on that before we move on?
I thought it was decent. It wasn't a classic, but it was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's it.
There you go. There you go, Sasha. That's all you're getting from us. Okay, well, we said we were going to talk about the Royal Rumble, and we did. Top fives are usually fairly quick and swift, so I think you can allow us the indulgence of having a good old chat about the Royal Rumble. Of course, get in touch if you disagree with us. Is that good advice? Anyway, so let's have a little break. Let's compose ourselves. Let's get our lists together, and let's come back and pick our top 5 things we'd like to see in wrestling in 2021.
Back suplex on the apron from Kenny Omega. Literally on the edge of the apron.
Okay, so it's top 5 time. Our last top 5 was back on episode 128, where we picked our top 5 Chris Jericho matches. And I'd say that's probably one of the recent episodes that kind of influenced the future of Hardest Part of the Ring, made us start thinking about what we want to start doing, because it was a bit different to our usual top 5s, considering we've done things like top 5 wrestlers to form a 5-a-side team or to rob a bank with and things like that. They're fun episodes, but it was quite fun to go a bit deeper and actually study a wrestler in Chris Jericho. Tonight, because we are in the very early stages of the year, we're going to talk about the things that we want to see this year. I mentioned that 2020 was shit. Everybody knows that, and there are a lot of bad things that happened in wrestling, and a lot of things that we didn't want to see happening, and things that thought people could have done differently. So now it's almost like we're in charge. We're going to pretend we're in charge, and we're going to pick out our top 5 main things that we want to see happen, and that would make us very happy if they took place over the next 11 months. Hardcore top 5 fans are probably really excited about the pun match, which usually happens now, but I thought about it. I was like, what would I be doing? What would the pun be? Like, what puns can you make from this subject matter? And we decided to spend that time talking about the Rumble instead. So instead of a pun match, we're going to go straight to the top 5 selection.
You're welcome, listeners.
The way it works is this. We each put forward 2 selections before we decide on one each to lock down. So each of us will get one that's definitely in the final 5. And then we will debate whatever we have left and decide on the final 5th pick. And up first, for our first top 5 of 2021, is Brett. What would you like to see in wrestling this year?
What do I start with?
I mean, you've got to pick
Any
something.
of them?
I've got to pick something. I'm going to pick one of them. No, okay. I'm going to go with perhaps maybe a positive one. I want to see. So I'm going to give you a specific.
One.
Well, the other would be positive, but it might come across as negative. So my first one, I'll start with a specific, but then it will broaden. I want to see New Japan cross over with AEW.
Oh, that would be cool.
Tasty.
I want to see like Takahashi versus Jungle Kid. I want to see Takagi versus Pac. I want to see some great matchups.
Do you know what? There's only one match you want to really, really see more than anything at the moment with AEW and New Japan, and that is Ibushi champion versus Omega champion.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but I'm like stuff that I'm seeing new. You know,
Champion versus champion, former tag team partners.
Yeah, but like I'm sure I've seen those two go up against each other in New Japan.
The Ken and Ryu of wrestling.
Maybe Naito versus Orange Cassidy. Like some
Oh, that'd be weird.
Okay, yeah, no, actually, good point. Well
some
made.
fun matchups. But then, like my broader thing is go cross promotion in general. It'd be great just to see all of them, even WWE. Do some cross promotional wrestling. I don't know if like WWE guys or their WWE trained guys could go toe to toe with New Japan guys.
I kind of feel like all other promotions but WWE are going to do this.
Yeah.
I think this is a realistic thing to happen. I think
It
AEW
should.
and New
It'd be
Japan
amazing.
have definitely had conversations, and I think this will happen. Yeah,
It would benefit both of them so much, right? You kind of think.
yeah,
Yeah.
And obviously, all the Impact stuff, the precedent has been set, and I really do think it's a great idea for all the promotions to start doing this, get more eyes away from WWE.
Yeah, and I think the one thing like we get sometimes, but you'd get spoilt, but like dream matchups that you just don't ever get because people stay loyal to certain companies and they don't cross over. We'd get to see so many more like awesome matchups that were just unlikely to happen. So that's my first dream wish.
It's a good one, that one, Brett.
That is good. That is a positive one.
Yes.
Dare to dream. John, are you going to be positive? I know you're usually a bit of a Debbie Downer. But...
So, I think so. My first one is Aleister Black. I just want to see Aleister Black
wanna see him.
in 2021.
Is he a wrestler?
Yeah, well, apparently so.
Who knows?
Where do
He
you wanna
didn't
see
make
him?
it in a Rumble.
No, not even an appearance in the Rumble, right? When they're desperate for bodies.
Oh my goodness. When the Hurricane is getting booked above you.
John, fancy book Aleister Black for 2021.
I would legit have him as a champion. I think he is so strong. He has the
United
charisma.
States champion.
No, good lord, come on. 24/7.
Do you send it back to NXT?
No, I wouldn't send him back. I mean, no, I wouldn't.
But I had this as one of my honourable mentions, which was Aleister Black to AEW. And I know I've moaned a few times
that'd
about,
be
God, AEW need to stop signing people from WWE. But I think that one would be an incredible fit. And some of the matchups that would lead to would be stunning.
Aleister
just
Black
such
is a
a
wrestler
good-
who can fit in anywhere. That's the
He's
thing.
such a good wrestler, and he's got that look. He's got the best theme song on WWE.
Had the best theme song.
Who's got the new one?
Well, no. They changed his theme.
Have they?
Yeah, I think they got rid of it.
Rubbish. Well, I want Aleister Black and his original theme song back.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good shout. Again, honourable mentions. I had him and Ricochet. I want Ricochet to have a huge push this year.
It's just like, just thinking of the Rumble, it's mad that, and I know you think I'm just down on him in general, but like Baron Corbin's in there, Elias is in there, like Carlito. I know he was a old school person coming in, but like when you've got Aleister Black,
Can I say,
like just sitting in the
with
back.
Carlito, now is the one time it is not okay to spit in the face of people who refuse to be cool. Like any other time in history, go for it. These last 12 months or so, maybe not. So
I do hate Carlito as well. I always hate Carlito.
Yeah, wasted talent.
Okay, so basically you just want to see Aleister Black become a champion.
Yeah.
What are we talking, though? Are we talking headlining WrestleMania level champion?
Yeah, why not? At least Intercontinental. At least give him that, I think he could quite easily be top guy of the company. And I think the fans would be behind that because he's got that cool metal look. Like, he could be the new Undertaker. Doesn't have to say a lot.
Is he going to turn up on Good Morning USA and sit on the sofa and hold the belt and do a little chat about inspiring
talk
kids?
about Satanism
I
and
reckon
all
he
that sort of
could.
cool stuff. Yeah, they love that stuff. Kids love Satanism. Whoa, scary.
Okay, well, that is an interesting choice. I like it. It is positive for Aleister Black. And
If you
for
think
us.
that one's interesting, my second one is not going to go down well.
Okay, well, I've got a feeling that all of us may have got some sort of variation of what I'm going to go for. And I'm kind of going for it before Brett
else
maybe does, because what he said
Now
in
I'm
terms of it
screwed.
being, it's kind of like a negative one, but it would actually be positive.
Yeah, go on, do it.
Vince
Pull the
McMahon's
trigger.
death, right?
I mean, I didn't go that
The death
far.
of Vincent Kennedy McMahon is my pick.
Is it really?
Piss off, really?
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
lord!
wow.
Thanks, Sam.
I was saying that as a joke that I thought we were going to
No.
cut out of the podcast.
I mean, I had him step away from wrestling for good, but you go with.
Is that seriously your pick?
I was going for the headlines by saying the death of
clickbait.
Vincent McMahon. But yeah, I think in reality, what I mean is he passes away surrounded by his
What's
family.
wrong with you?
No pain.
I thought he was gonna.
You can't just have him quietly retire from wrestling.
I
Yeah,
can
You
literally
wanna
hear
kill
the
an old
cease and
man.
desist drop on my door right now.
I want to disassociate myself with Adam's views about wanting someone to die.
It's wrestling. It's all a joke. No, okay. Obviously, wanting death, wishing death on anybody is pretty ridiculous unless you're avenging something. And I think being a bit annoyed with wrestling booking over the last 20 years doesn't quite warrant wanting somebody
I
dead.
think he's done probably a lot worse in his life than
Yeah, too right. Fuck him.
Because
Fuck him then.
he's not a nice guy. He's
How about
an
we split the
arsehole.
difference and we say we want him to kayfabe, be killed off again,
Oh yeah,
and
get that
take a
window
very
explode.
long... Nope.
No.
Okay.
Fuck it. I've got to go with it, right, guys? I can't just backtrack. I want Vince McMahon dead. I want. He's been in charge for 29 years. Okay,
Yeah.
he's had his run, and he's been bloody good throughout some of it, and he's provided us with loads of entertainment. But just imagine. Okay, I know a post Vince world isn't going to be as rosy as perhaps we all could imagine it, because obviously his family is still very much involved. But when you hear about how much he does get involved in the day-to-day things, how much he switches things last minute, how he gets involved in the name changes for wrestlers, how involved he is in booking, you just think without him around, and I'm afraid the only way it's going to work is with him dying,
It's the
because
only
he's
way
not
he
going
will
to
step
retire.
away.
He's
Yeah,
a total
he will never
workaholic.
step away. Yeah.
Is he like the Queen not giving Charles his shot?
I mean, we can't even say, let's put him in a coma or something.
Okay. What about this? We lock him in a submarine that is 10,000. What's the
Leaks
measurement
under the sea.
Leaks?
And is that many? 10,000 leagues under the
More than
sea.
a paddle, I reckon.
He's got no internet. And he's got absolutely nothing, and he can't get in touch with us. But he's having a very happy life. And in fact, maybe he lives forever down there. I don't want him to die at all.
It's one of those saga submarine tours.
Submarine in the
Mariana
bottom of the ocean.
He's like a kaiju.
Yeah. I want him to live forever very happily.
He's going to rock up in Tokyo and just cause some really bad booking.
Yeah.
But we all know that the things that we want to happen, the problems that we have, are
Yeah.
not going to get resolved until he's gone. So
No, totally. Mine wasn't as harsh, but it was the same sentiment.
good. And now the pressure's on you to come up with another one, right?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Okay.
Should have
Cool.
gone the other way round, shouldn't I?
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to
right.
get there before you did as well. Anyway, Sam, top that.
Okay. August 31st, 2021 is going to be the 1500-day anniversary of everyone's favourite match, the Punjabi Prison.
God.
Such an anniversary.
Bring back the Punjabi Prison, you cowards.
I mean, didn't they do a weird online show that was meant to happen in India the other day?
Yes, I think that's kind of why I started thinking about the Punjabi Prison again.
So it could happen.
Yeah, but it's one of the stipulations for a Punjabi prison match that one of the contestants has to have some relation or some connection to India.
I think
Like
that's
Kali
close-mindedness.
Or to prisons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would you have in your Punjabi prison match then?
Does it have to be WWE? It probably does, I suppose.
I don't think AEW are doing it somehow.
Do you know what? I'm going to say let's put the New Day versus the Usos in a Punjabi prison.
In a Punjabi. I can't even remember
Surely
the
you've got to-
rules. Do you remember the rules?
Neither can I, but I want to see it.
It was like doors, wasn't there? I remember there being doors.
I think there was a
Well,
lot of bamboo.
A lot of
Yeah,
bamboo.
metal.
Surely you've got to involve the
Painted
Singh
like
brothers
bamboo.
or
I mean, yes, you can put Indian people in the Punjabi prison. Like, we could put a Mansur or the Singh brothers, or even bring back the Jinder. But do we have to?
Yeah, I'm
Can
sure
we not-
there are foreign people in prison in India.
But well, what
Exactly.
makes it a Punjabi prison match then? Is it just
It's just the
like-
use of the Punjab sticks.
Of the prison that has sort of gaps big enough for people to fit through so they could escape if they wanted.
It's a fun
Right.
structure with just a lot of potential.
Oh, I've got...
Let's put Ricochet and Alistair Black in the Punjabi prison.
Ooh, now you've piqued my interest.
in a fight to the death with Vince McMahon?
There we go. 2021. Let's make it happen.
All aired exclusively on New Japan and AEW at the same time. All our dreams come true. Good. Well, this is going.
About as well as we expected.
Right. I think we just crack straight on. Again, sometimes we have a little interlude question. I haven't got anything for you here, guys. I just want to hear what Brett is going to pull out of his arse for his second pick,
mate.
because he is up next. Brett, do you want to go last? We can.
No, I'll just...
Okay, go on then.
So, this is a pet peeve, I guess.
Okay.
Pet peeve. I want to see 1 hour weekly shows and 2 hour pay-per-views.
Oh,
Great
That's
shout.
what I want to see. I don't want to
that
see
is
2
my kind of shout.
hour weekly shows and 3, 4, whatever hour pay-per-views.
Brett, I can't believe I didn't think of that, because that is literally when most of my problems started with wrestling, is when it went to 2-hour NXT. 2-hour NXT is the main thing. I bet I rarely watch all of NXT anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be so perfect, an hour a week of high quality wrestling.
Yeah.
And you're right, when it's over 3-hour pay-per-views, I think 2 hours is a bit tight.
No, it makes them, get to the business of wrestling and not have too much filler. The amount of stuff on the Rumble one at the beginning when I was watching it, and it was just like ages, and then when it was ages between the matches, and I was like, oh, just get started already. I just think, it's like you can see a great film in an hour and a half. They can tell loads of stories. Like 2 hours, I think that's plenty of time. And it just means they don't overstack it. Maybe,
That would make the Royal Rumble just the 2 Rumble matches, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can't argue with that in some ways.
Yeah.
I feel like you need a break between Rumble matches. But anyway, we get your point. I think, considering you've plucked that out of nowhere, I think that's got a very strong chance of making it through.
That was serious, though. It was too serious. It was just like,
No, we want some serious ones, I think. I think we need a good mix.
Yeah, we need
some
joke
things we
ones
want.
like Punjabi prisons, and we need joke ones like let's kill off an old man.
Okay, John, where are you going to go? Are you going to go silly? Are you going to go sensible?
Well,
A bit of both.
It's not for me to decide. I'm going to go. I want more holographic wrestlers.
Oh,
We saw
yeah.
Paul Bearer, and I think we could expand that. And next WrestleMania, we could have holographic Eddie Guerrero versus holographic Mr. Perfect main event.
Yeah.
WWE loves old talent. This is the perfect recipe for them. They could just
And they
get
don't
all
have to
their old
pay
stars
them.
back. Yeah, they've owned
because
the
they've
rights.
probably got all image rights and everything to them. So,
It doesn't even have to be
Very
dead
true.
wrestlers. You could use like a holographic Stone Cold. Who doesn't want to see a young Stone Cold in his prime?
How do you
Stunning.
interact with a hologram? Just
well, you just have hologram versus hologram.
Hologram,
matches,
yeah.
I guess.
oh right, it's not like a real person versus a hologram, because that would be mad.
Well, I mean, maybe I think we need to perfect the art form a little bit more first.
Hmm.
I think maybe that's a 2022.
I think this
ask,
one needs to
maybe.
go back in the oven, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I like it. Did you not have a second one then, John? Or you just had to think of it?
I think it's a good one. Get all our old favourites back in the ring. Come on.
I'm just all I can think of is that bloody awful Kardashian hologram that Kanye got, where he got him to say that he was a
Her dad.
genius, genius, Kanye.
Yeah.
See, we could have them wrestle each other there. We could get the Kardashian hologram. We could get the two-pack
Two-pack.
one. And yeah, crossover, pollination. Get some more eyes on the product.
You know, I'm
Holly.
not even
No,
convinced.
sorry, Rimmer.
I'm not even convinced that the Paul Bearer one was a proper hologram. It kind of looked a bit like just a weird Photoshop kind of job at the last second.
Okay. Well, if they don't have the technology, this may be tough.
Well, it's blue sky thinking. You've got to put these ideas out there.
Yeah.
Miss every shot you don't take.
Okay, I'm up next. Mine's a serious one. So absolutely no
So was
laughing.
mine, you arsehole. Come on.
I would like to see, and I know AEW kind of do this already, but I'd like to see a big WWE show with a decent crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying I want to see a crowds back at wrestling, because obviously, that was only going to work if it's safe to do so. But I kind of get the feeling that SummerSlam could be the perfect pay-per-view to get a decent sized outside crowd. We know enough about how to do social distance events well. If you get people wearing masks when they're supposed to be wearing masks, I know these are American wrestling fans we're talking about, so it might be difficult. Apologies to any American listeners. But I just feel like we really need an event this year that is done in front of some sort of crowd, because even the stuff that AEW have been doing with a small crowd sounds quite good. If WWE could pull off something like that, and I'm going to say at SummerSlam, it would be brilliant. It'd be absolutely amazing. And to have some huge, I don't know, maybe it's where Big E wins the title or something, although I don't know if that's...
In the Punjabi prison in SummerSlam, yeah.
But some massive result, something that's been sort of boiling along. I don't know what it might be right now, but something that's going to get a great big pop. I'm not saying we need to have 80,000 people there. And they can tell us there's 80,000 people there. It doesn't matter. Just get like 10,000 people. I know that's difficult when they're all leaving the building to go into the car parks and stuff, but I feel like some sort of decent crowd should be possible. And that's what I want to see this year. In WWE, I'm saying.
Do you reckon there will be proper, back to normal stadium shows by the end of this year?
No.
I don't.
Time will tell on that one.
I mean, if they're saying there's going to be restrictions, quite possibly restrictions here next winter. Oh, God. This is about to get really depressing. Let's move away.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, but yeah, some fans. A decent WWE show with some fucking fans, because I'll admit, I think the novelty of the Thunderdome has slightly worn off.
Yeah.
Sam, you are next. The final pick.
I want to see WWE develop like a Legends division for all the old people, that they can go off and do their own thing on their own show in their own pay-per-view, so that Goldberg and the Hurricane and Kane and anyone else who comes back from retirement, even you, Edge, can wrestle till their heart's content with other people of a similar level to them, not taking up spots on major pay-per-views, fighting current champions, and just develop that into its own show. And it would be great. They could call it like 65 Live or something. It would be really good.
Didn't they do that? Didn't they do a show called Legends House where they all lived together?
Yeah, that's fine. Like, let's just put them all in a show.
It'd be a 20-minute monthly show.
Do you know what? Make it 3 hours long a week with a 6-hour pay-per-view every month. Go for it.
But these guys aren't looking to wrestle weekly.
No.
So you'd have to have a massive roster.
There's a
there is a massive
multitude of wrestlers who have come through the door and left. And, I might tune in occasionally to watch a D'Lo Brown. I probably won't.
Probably won't. I can't promise. I'm not going to commit to that, but I might.
I'm just saying that if we can get your Goldbergs, your Great Khali's,
they're not quite on the same level, but I hear you.
If we can get them all onto their own show that they obviously really are craving to get back in the limelight, then I am all for that, and I think that would be a wonderful thing for wrestling.
Do you know what, Sam? Do that. Vinnie Mac doesn't have to die, but that's his baby. And that's
there
all
we
he's
go.
allowed to touch.
Yeah. Do you know what?
No.
Make Hulk Hogan champion. Go for it.
Ric Flair could probably still do a job as well.
Yeah, Ric Flair, he's still knocking about. Get
I
him
don't
in the
think
ring.
he can do a job, John. I think he would die the
It's
first
Ric
movie.
Flair. It's the greatest of all time. Come on, he can do a
The
job.
state of him.
Make a seniors wrestling league that we can kind of put off to one side.
I totally
And-
watched that. I watched the.
I
arse
wonder
of
if
that.
it's like because I played not like seniors in 60 and over, but like a senior basketball league. And as soon as you started playing with the old guys, like the amount of elbows and stuff you'd get, like you just got beat in like a non-contact sport. I wonder what it would be like for that. They'd kill each other.
The Masters 5-a-side, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
with Ian
Brutal.
Rush running around,
Just
scoring
brutal.
goals, and everyone being like, "You're an old mate."
It would be like that Saudi show match between Goldberg and Undertaker, where they basically just nearly break each other's necks every.
Or like that
move.
Saudi show match with Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Kane and The Undertaker. They've got so much content they can build upon, and it's just a win-win. They get
Loads
the
of
show.
viral videos of wrestlers dying in the ring.
And
I think you are on something here. But the thing is, Vince sees them as all as sprightly young lads. So, yeah.
And I'm just saying that. Do you know what the best part about this idea is? If we get a wrestler who we really dislike, or someone who's just really not up to snuff, we could say, do you know what? Go get some practice in the big leagues. Go on, Baron Corbin. Off you go. Go join the senior wrestling league.
Can we send Matt Riddle there?
Yeah, I mean,
Or is that unfair to the? I mean, if Hogan's going to be there, you know, being a racist,
Do you know what?
then like,
I'm not going to lie. The ulterior motive for this is let's put all wrestlers who are kind of crap or horrible or old
shitheads.
onto their own show that none of us have to watch. And
I
that's
think
a positive
Sam's got a winner
thing.
there.
Yeah, that's a strong one to finish on. So, those were our 8 picks. We had a New Japan AEW crossover, Aleister Black,
Yep.
just doing some stuff.
Just doing some stuff.
The death of Vince McMahon, bringing back the Punjabi prison, 1 hour weekly shows with 2 hour pay-per-views,
That's the winner right there, isn't it?
holographic
They say we don't do
wrestlers.
serious content on here.
I couldn't even recognise the one I'd written down myself there. A show with fans, like a big show with a lot of fans, and a Legends division. So the first thing we are going to do is lock one down. So one of our picks each is guaranteed to make it into the final 5. Brett, which one are you going to go for? Are you going to go the one that you prepared or the one that seemed more popular?
I'm going to go with the one I prepared.
Ooh, New Japan AEW crossover.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, interesting. John, which are you going to go for? Aleister Black or holographic wrestlers?
Got a lukewarm reception to the holographic wrestlers, so I'm going to go Aleister Black.
Ah, boo.
I like it. I will go. My second one, a show with some fans. I mean, pathetic. The listeners
Fuck
want
those
Vince
fans.
dead.
They don't want that.
The listeners want Vince dead. I want him in a submarine, but I think the listeners want him dead. So the death of Vince for me. And Sam, are you going to go for a Punjabi prison match or a Legends division?
Yeah, let's bring back the Punjabi prison. It's the anniversary.
Seriously.
We had a chance to make quite a decent top 5 here. And instead,
When we
we've
put
gone
this
for an
list out on
incredible one.
social, people who haven't listened to the episode will go, I'm not downloading that.
It's amazing though, because what's happening here is the exact same creative process that happens in WWE when it's like, we have all of these good ideas, or we can pick the Punjabi prison.
Yeah. All right. So now it is time to debate the final ones. We have obviously 4 others, and we need to narrow that down to 1. I'm just going to say my immediate pick is 100% the 1 hour weekly shows and 2 hour pay-per-views.
Yep.
But we also have the holographic wrestlers, show with fans, or the Legend division. John?
It's got to be the 1 hour weekly shows.
So Sam?
Yeah, 1 hour weekly shows is the actual serious answer here.
Yeah. And Brett, that was your pick, so I imagine you're happy to go with that.
Yeah, although I like Sam's Legends idea.
Yeah, me too.
That's one for another day, guys. It will
One for
happen.
another day.
Okay, so listeners, you've had a tough couple of years with wrestling. There's been lots of issues. There's been speaking out. There's been having to deal with coronavirus, seeing how the big corporations are dealing with coronavirus, seeing some of your favourite wrestlers, some of your heroes turn out to be complete and utter scumbags. Some of your favourite podcasters turn out to be complete and utter scumbags. But we are going to sort it out for you because we have the 5 things that will save wrestling in 2021. And they are a New Japan and AEW crossover.
Who's going to be wrestling on that show, Adam?
Aleister Black.
And what kind of match?
A Punjabi prison match.
How long's the show going to be?
It's going to be a 2-hour pay-per-view, tight 2 hours.
Who's going to enjoy it so much that they're going to have a heart attack at the end of the match?
You?
And?
Vince McMahon.
That's how we fix wrestling.
Wrestling will be fixed. Okay, I think that's basically sorted. Hopefully all the promotions are listening to that and they're going to follow everything that we said. Thank you very much. I think we set out to do a pretty serious, we said we want to get away from those silly top 5s. And
good job.
Here we are. Yeah, well done, guys. Any other honourable mentions? John, did you have any bonus ones?
I was going to, Brit Rest live shows. I'd love to get to a Ripside or even a Rev Pro or something like that this year. It'd be cool.
Sam?
I'm always looking forward to the G1. Can't go wrong with that.
So what, you'd like to see a G1?
No, I'm just looking forward to the G1 in 2021.
Okay.
Looking forward to.
Things you'd like to see the G1, okay? You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
The famously annual wrestling tournament.
There's a reason it didn't make the top 2 for my list.
I put a WWE main title run for a guy under 5'9".
Oh.
Yeah, I'd new blood in the title chase.
Yeah.
In general.
And then I also put maybe some intergender wrestling done properly. As in, not a woman tags in, so then the other woman has to come in. Just Brit Rest style women beating the crap out of men. Wrestlers beating the crap out of wrestlers.
Yeah.
I know that's difficult and it can be problematic in some areas. And I know, maybe the big promotions are wise in keeping away from it a little bit. But I reckon they could possibly look at doing it in NXT or having some matches on AEW Dark. Maybe start trialing
There's
it out a
definitely
bit
a
more.
place for it in wrestling. It's just it does need to be treated with a slight kind of sensitivity around it because, you don't want to be promoting domestic violence.
You don't. Sobering. Yes. Okay, Brett, before we move on, did you have any honourable mentions?
Oh, I didn't. But while we were talking and after I'd said my second one, I thought of another one. I want to see more wrestlers on game shows like they did on that
Weakest Link.
Weakest Link. So I want to see, a wrestler version of the chase. I want to see a wrestler version of, whatever.
How?
I was also thinking bringing back some old stuff. So I want to see a wrestler version of the Funhouse with Pat Sharp. Just
have you ever seen the game show Only Connect?
Yes, I love that show.
I would love to see a wrestling team on that because I don't understand how anyone ever gets any questions right on that. But I like the idea of 3 wrestlers all just sat there what are you on about? The show is so confusing.
Get Lemmy Poffo, right? He was the genius. Get him on there. Be all right.
Lemmy Poffo? Lanny
Poffo.
Cool back. All right,
God
let's
damn
call
it.
this one to an end. Next podcast, we will be back in 2 weeks because we are fortnightly now, although occasionally we'll pop up with extra bonus episodes and things like that. But we're guaranteed to be back in 2 weeks to do the next episode of The Undertaking, which is what, chapter 6, something like that?
I think so. It's a Valentine's special, even though I don't even know if it's going to be involving a Valentine's Day wrestling match or if Greg the Hammer Valentine will be on it. But it's
going to come out around Valentine's Day. So you're not allowed to go out to an overpriced restaurant anyway. Dump your girlfriend, divorce your wife. Yeah, I know. I'm directing this at you guys.
Oh,
leave your partners and let's fully invest in this next podcast, The Undertaking, coming up in 2 weeks. Brett, how do people get in touch with the podcast?
They can send their emails to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com, or they can catch us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We are at hardestpartpod.
Brilliant. Thank you very much to everybody who listened. And it's not until next week anymore. What's the new catchy sign off? Anybody got anything good?
next time.
Next
Next episode.
See you next time.
That sounds a bit creepy.
Goodbye. Goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye, Sam.
I'll go look up submarine prices.
Goodbye, John.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, Brett.
Bye.
That was the hardest part of the ring.
That is the hardest